Yes, hi everyone. I'm so excited to be here to share my story on how I intentionally build a happier and more fulfilling life for myself and how you can also build a happier and more fulfilling life for yourself. So for the longest time, I chased this thing called happiness. They say happiness is a choice and it's free. So why is it so hard to choose? Why are women today, even though we have more options, even though we have more voice, a louder voice, even though we have more access to education, why is it that women today are more unhappy than the women in the 1970s? There's a research from the University of Pennsylvania that came out, and there were so many different suggestions to why this is so, why women today are more unhappy than the women in the 1970s, even though we have access to more opportunities. And one of the suggestions is that even though we have more access to opportunities, we still make decisions and take action based on other people's opinion, and that we have more categories in which we have to be successful in. We have to show up as successful in more categories than the women in the 1970s. And so, I can think of so many different reasons why women today are more unhappy than the women in the 1970s. But my personal reasons for my life, I can think of two main reasons why it took me such a long time to get to this point where I'm cheerful, I'm happy, I'm living a healthier and a wealthier life, just because I decided to be more intentional and choose happiness. The first reason that I can think of is the fact that I was born in June. According to astrology, I am doomed to be moody and melancholic for the rest of my life because of the way the stars were aligned when I was born. So, if anyone can transform their life from sad to happy, then it's me, because again, I was doomed. I was already doomed by my date of birth to be moody and melancholic. Another main reason I think why I had to really why I had to get really intentional about my happiness is because I was actually born in a very patriarchal society. Where I grew up, I didn't feel like I had the power to choose my happiness because I'm a woman. And in my where I grew up, and at the time that I grew up, no matter how successful a woman was in her role, no matter how successful a woman was in life, her role was already decided, and she was seen as a neck and a shadow to support the head and the main character, which is the man. And I that annoyed me so much when I got out of school, because I grew up with my mom mostly, and I went to an all-girls school. So I wasn't really aware of how patriotic the society that I lived in was, because in school, in the all-girls high school that I went to, girls were allowed to be leaders, girls were allowed to speak up, girls were allowed to be themselves and do what they wanted. But that wasn't, but after high school and I got out, that wasn't how my society was engineered. Women were being told and mentally prepared to just be the subordinate, to be the shadow and the next and the space. And it annoyed me so much that I started a female empowerment club at the age of 19. So the club we would was to push people, pretty much what I do now, push people, encourage people, and share empowerment tools on how they can live their best life and live to their full potential. And it started as a club, it evolved into a magazine and a radio show. And I just wanted all the women that I know to know that they had the right to dream, and that it was possible for their dreams to come true, and that they deserved it. That's was the point of life, really. if you're not working on your goals and chasing your dreams. And who why would anyone tell you that because you're born female you're not supposed to chase your dreams? I was so angry about it, and I ran this club and magazine for 3 years. It was so much pressure. It was so much having, I had to really push for it, because again, this is a patriarchal society that I lived in. So it wasn't something that was easily accepted. But for 3 years, I ran it, and I ran it diligently. But then at the third year, at this my early 20s, I just got too tired. I got broken down, and I decided I wasn't going to do it anymore. So I stopped. And outside my anger for the patriarchy, I really didn't know what else to do with myself. I didn't know what happiness looked like for me. I didn't know what I should do to be happy. And what I needed to do, the actions that I needed to take to be happy. So, outside the anger, I really didn't know what else to do. And so I had to, my 20s was really the time where I spent trying a lot of things, trying to find happiness. And because I was trying a lot of things, I was acquiring different degrees and skills to make myself feel worthy. I was diving headfirst into relationships and businesses. And I was giving myself 100%, 110% to work, shape shifting, people pleasing, just to find that thing called happiness. And it made me to hit rock bottom several times trying to find happiness. And my very last rock bottom happened at the age of 29, when I found myself with no job, no money, and going through a bad breakup. That was when I finally learned what life was trying to tell me, that I needed to be intentional. I needed I needed to be intentional about the choices that would lead to my happiness. That I already knew what I wanted, but I was too focused on other people's opinion for me to actually see what I wanted. And that's why I decided to take a break. I was going to take a 2 months break and just and align with my inner self. And 2 months turned into years. So, and I decided at that age, 29, that, I was old enough now. Like when you're going to 30s, it's like, I'm old enough to say what I want to say and say that I'm going to do what I want to do without people trying to tell me how to live my life. And I decided that if I have the power in my hand to design my life, to rebuild my life, that I was going to rebuild it in the direction of my light, my joy, my happiness, and my fulfillment. And so these are 6 things. It's taken a couple of years for me to get to this point where I am genuinely happy with the life that I have designed for myself. I expect better, but I am also happy where I am now. And so I'm going to consolidate everything that I've learned in the past couple of years into 6 things that I did to build my life in the direction of my life and become a happier and healthier person, and also wealthier. But, let's not talk about that too much. Okay, so the very first thing I did was to change my mindset. What you believe, what you think and believe, can change the direction of your life and design your life. And so I thought to myself, if what I think and what I believe can affect or can shape my life, then I need to start thinking better. I need to start believing better. I had to unlearn so many things that I was taught, so many beliefs that were imbibed in my brain from a child, living in from a girl living in a patriotic society. I had to unlearn so many things. So many things. There's so many different mindset shifts that happen for me, but I'm going to share two main ones just for the sake of time. The first mindset shift for me was the definition of happiness. Most people define happiness as a feeling, But I came to realize that happiness is actually a state of mind that is characterized with balance, joy, satisfaction, gratitude, fulfillment, and and a feeling of being able to achieve your goals, a feeling of being capable. So I kind of shifted my thought on what happiness was, so that it no longer became a destination. It no longer became something that I would have when I get a degree, or when I get married, or when I get this job, or when I have this amount of money. It became a state of mind that I have to be in at any point, low, high, middle. It's a state of mind that I have to be in at every point. I have to come back. I have to find that middle, that balance at every point. So that was a big aha moment for me. Um, my happiness, a happy life for me, does not mean that bad things will stop happening to me. And if you decide to go on a happiness journey, a personal success journey as well, it doesn't mean that bad things won't happen to you, but you will always be able to find your way back to joy, and you will always be able to find your way back to balance, which is what I do. The second mindset shift that I had was to be able to adopt a positive mindset. I let go of fear-based beliefs and emotions, and I picked up um, beliefs that had to do with courage and determination and positivity. So I had to rewire my mind. I had to put up words that I didn't even believe at first. Some of the positive beliefs that I was trying to imbibe in myself, I didn't even believe it when I started it. But I had to push myself. I had to push myself to see the light, to see the positive, to see how I make the best out of this, or how can this become the best situation for me. And I was always, and eventually it became my way of thinking. I'm always thinking, okay, half glass full, which was not me before. I was definitely a half glass empty girl. But eventually my mindset shift and I became half glass full girl. And it was by intention. It was by focusing on positive beliefs, and really, really trying to make my mind to believe, to see and believe that they are actually true. Um, so the second C, so that's the first C. The second C is to commit to being happy. You need to actually commit, because it's not going to be an easy road. It's not going to be, when you decide that you want to be happy, especially from the few years, it's not going to be an easy road, especially if you're going it on your own. If you have a coach or if you have support, it might be easier. But if you're going it on your own, it's not going to be the easiest journey. You're going to have to commit, and your life is important. Your happiness is important. Your happiness matters. You are important. You came to this life for a reason. You're worthy of happiness in this lifetime. And if you don't position yourself to receive it, no one is going to do it for you, because nobody really can. Because happiness is an inside job, and no one can really go inside for you. We can give you tools, we can tell you how we did it, but no one's going to go in for you. So you're going to have to be the one to make that commitment, that no matter how hard it gets, you're not going to give up, because you deserve it, and because you're worthy of it, and it's because it's your birthright. So don't ever think that you will not get happiness. Don't ever believe that you're not going to get it. Commit like it's already done. It's already my happiness, the things that I want, they're already done. They're already given to me. I just have to figure out how to get there. And like a caterpillar evolving into a butterfly, you're going to go through different transformations. You're going to have to change your mindset. You might have to change people around you. You might have to change the things that you do. And it might be uncomfortable, but it is worth it. So keep going towards your light. Don't shy away from what you need to do. commit, 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 learn and keep going, adjust and keep going. Don't worry about what you don't know, and do your best with what you do know, because every day that you get in this life is an opportunity for you to keep moving towards your light and towards your happiness. So that commitment is very important. You need to commit to this journey. The third C is clarity. So I had to reconnect to my core authentic self, to be able to really figure out what is it that, who am I, first of all? Who am I really? Outside everything that everyone has told me about myself, who am I on the inside? What do I want? How can I use who I am to better my society? So society has like a standard blueprint. They have like an average. They take into consideration millions of people, and then they come up with an average on on what it takes to be happy. But they usually don't take account to the fact that most of us come pre-fit with our core values, our core personalities, our core interests, our core visions. We're all different. And these attributes are stored in our authentic self, which we need to reconnect with. We need to understand that no matter what it is, no matter what your personality, your interest, your vision, your values, it is valuable. It is valuable. It is needed by the world. The creator has never made anything in the, like, it's so wise. I feel like the universe is infinitely wise that it would not give you the personalities, the interests, the values, and the visions that you have for no reason. And the reason why most people are sad is because they are not utilizing their actual self, their authentic self, and their authentic abilities. And so ask yourself, how can you use your core authenticity to add joy and happiness into the world? Even the experiences that you've gained so far, how can you use that to add value to the world, to add happiness to the world? But first, you have to figure out what your core values, what your core personality, what your interest, and what your vision is on inside. And that's one of the things that I do with my clients. Is we have clarity sessions, I have clarity workshops, and I have clarity sessions. This is how I use my own core authenticity, because I've always been that girl who motivates and shares and wants to see people win. So this is how I utilize my own core strengths, and this is what brings me fulfillment. So yeah, so it's very important that you find clarity. So the fourth thing, and we're almost done, it's two more to go, but the fourth thing is that you will have to start making conscious priorities. I started becoming conscious of the actions that I was taking and how I was spending my time, and who got to see me, like who got to really take my time. I personally needed to prioritize based on looking at my life and my emotional level and my situation. I had to prioritize self-care because I'm an empath, and um I keep no matter how I try, I will kind of soak in negative energy, negativity. So self-care is very important for me. I prioritize self-care. I schedule time to take care of my mind, my body, and my soul, and I'm not apologetic about it because that's what I need to be able to function. I also I also prioritize my boundaries and protected my happiness. Anyone that comes with negativity or bad energy, is usually like kept at a place. And once it's for the protection of my peace and happiness, I am not apologetic about it. And so should you not be. You also have to raise your standards. You have to stop accepting less. This is the most difficult one, especially for me. This is the one I struggled with a lot, especially because I have an entrepreneurial mind, and I can always see how we can use something to we can polish something and make it better and push it up. So if I'm accepting less, it's so that I can polish it up and make it better. But for human interactions, like it's just like you just have to have a standard so that you don't take less and you don't accumulate and spend time polishing. Time that you could spend enjoying something, you spend it polishing, right? So set standards. You also have to make the conscious effort to prioritize your personal goals. Life can get really, really busy, especially as an adult with a family. It's very, and a woman, it's very easy for us to kind of put ourselves in the back seat. And you have to be very conscious and intentional about prioritizing your personal goals. You have to find time for your personal goal. It's very important because your personal goals are the goals that will fill your heart, are the goals that when you achieve them, they not only fill your mind with dopamine, they also fill your heart with joy. And the last thing that I had to prioritize was positive human interactions, because I had spent so much time with in the past with interactions where I was belittled or made to feel like I was second because I'm a woman. I really prioritize positive personal interactions, and try not to hang around people who are negative or who pull people down. So that's the fourth one. The fifth one is conscious action, continuous action. You have to take continuous action towards your happiness. Like I said, happiness is not a destination. And what you're going to find when you start your personal success journey, your happiness journey, is that once you get to one level, there's another level to get to. And once you get to that level, there's another level. Each level has goals and dreams for you to accomplish and catch. Make sure that at each level, realign with yourself. Make sure that it's authentic. Make sure that it's well planned. Make sure that you have accountability and support. And no matter what the outcome of the plans and action are, just know that you're learning, you're planning, you're moving, and then you're definitely, and once you get there, there's going to be another level. So just get ready for that. Get ready to take the action, to keep taking the action, to keep healing, to keep doing what you need to do to get to build a happier life for yourself. And don't forget that the main goal is not to reach a destination or a feeling, but to be able to get to a point where it's easy to maintain a happy state of mind, where you wake up in the morning and you think about your life and you be like, yeah, I like my life. I really, really like my life, which is, what happened to me. Like, I thought I was going to take 2 months off, and it turned out to be years, because every level led to a new level. And once I got to a level, I realized that I can actually get to another level. And I just keep taking these steps, enjoying where I am, but also taking the steps to go to the next level. So yes, so that's the fifth one. And the sixth one is calibration, the power to readjust. This was such an aha moment for me, because happiness, like I said earlier, happiness doesn't mean that bad things will stop happening. And for me, I'm an empath. I feel things, and I feel things more than most people. And so I had to really learn how to manage my emotions, so that, and I had to really go in and study, and getting certified to become a coach helped me with that, helped me to study emotional intelligence, and really start learning how to calibrate, how to readjust, how to resolve, how to walk back to my balance, how to change my plans without feeling like a loser or feeling like I failed, how to learn from things that didn't go the way I thought they would go, and make way, be open for newer things to happen in different ways. I'll give you an example. When I was in rock bottom, the first when I was 29, I did a visualization session with a coach, and I couldn't see clearly what it is that I wanted, but I know that I wanted to live in a beach city. At the time, I was living in Nigeria. So, and I was living in the center of Nigeria, which is very far from the beaches. And I knew that when I visualized, what I saw for myself was a beach city, and it did not look like a place in Nigeria. So I kind of had that in the back of my mind. I didn't give it too much thought. I thought it was impossible. I was, I had no money, I had no job, I was like rock bottom. And, to think about living outside the country at the time wasn't even something that I could fathom that I could do. But I I kept that somewhere in the back of my head, and I started baby steps, just trying to be better and trying to find my peace and my happiness. And it led me to find a job which paid me a lot of money, but was a very toxic environment to live to work in. And so many times I wanted to quit that job because it just did not give me the peace that I thought I was going to get by earning that much money. um I and my in my brain, I'm like, why would my peace, because I followed my peace to find that job or to take that job, like why would my peace lead me here? But towards the end of my time in that job, I actually got an opportunity to move out of the country to where I live now, in a beach city, a very beautiful beach city, which I did not know. Like, I couldn't have thought about that from the very beginning if I hadn't learned how to kind of calibrate and kind of accept that, and trust, and make the best of the situation at hand. I probably wouldn't have gotten to the end where I got to relocate and move out of Nigeria to the current city that I lived in, and I currently live in, which is a very beautiful place. So learn to trust the universe in a way where it's like, that everything is fine. You just have to find your balance, you just have to readjust, you just have to let go of whatever expectations that you had, because better ones are definitely in front of you. And so yeah, that that is one lesson that really, really made a difference for me. It's really learning how to calibrate. In conclusion, I'm going to share that committing to my happy life and my personal success has been the most rewarding journey that I've taken in my life so far. It started out rocky, but it's been so rewarding. The most interesting thing is that the creator and the universe aligns and supports you. Once you've aligned with yourself and you've started to utilize your skills and you started achieving goals from a point of your values and from a place of light, the creator and the universe will align with you and will support you through your journey, regardless if you have a coach or anyone pushing you. The universe, the creator, is going to support you. And once you've reprogrammed your mind, you're going to start seeing the opportunities that are in front of you, because this is what happened to me. Once I decided, I started seeing opportunities in front of me. I started going towards the direction of my peace, and I readjusting to the pain or whatever it is that happened in those choices, because I know that I took this choice from a place of peace and from a place of connection and from a place of fulfillment and happiness. Living in that alignment has given me clarity that even when I can't see where I'm going, I follow my peace, and I know that if my soul, I can't really explain it, but if I have peace, if my mind and my spirit have peace and I'm aligned, then I know that I'm aligned. and I follow that decision. So even when I can't see where I'm going, if my insides are at peace, I will make a decision based on that. And the things that I've prioritized, the actions that I've prioritized have shaped my world, and have shaped it for the better. And I keep moving and working towards my best life through the actions that I take and the decisions that I make. I also now know that I am adaptable and that I can calibrate and I can manage my emotions, and that my emotions are not and are like a compass, and they're really telling me where to go and where not to go. So if I feel sad, it's not for me to sit there. It's not for me to worry about that. It's for me to know that I may I may be going in the wrong direction and I need to turn in a different direction, right? So my feelings have become my compass. I have started to learn how to manage it, how to get back to balance, how to readjust myself. And sometimes you will have to walk through valleys, but every day you get is an opportunity to keep climbing and to keep climbing out of the valleys. And so, I will always be able to calibrate and adjust myself to be able to find joy, fulfillment, and balance in any situation. So that is my presentation today. I hope you have learned a thing or two and that you will commit to intentionally building a happier life for yourself. I hope that you realize that you're worth it, that your life is worth it, regardless of wherever it is that you have been through. You don't have to do anything extra. You don't have to be anyone extra. Once you woke up today, you are already worthy of happiness. You're already worthy of your best life by virtue of just waking up this morning and being here. So don't think that you need to do anything extra. Set that commitment in your mind that you're going to live a happier life and that you're going to start becoming intentional about your happier life. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. If you need help, if you need accountability, don't hesitate to contact me. My website is in the banner, and you can also send me an email at Ms.Chioma at Ms.Chioma@gmail.com.